We did it. It was a harrowing adventure to get here again, wasn't it, Campbell?
Yes.
We had to eat breakfast.
We traveled far and wide.
Travel from the bedroom over to the office. How you doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm good. Want to show everybody what you got on your screen?
Yes.
Right.
So this is the tool we developed last show and the show before it. And it's basically, this is just stock information. And
kind of, yeah. It's to be a little more accurate. It is cryptocurrency, and specifically,
Bitcoin.
it's Bitcoin against the U.S. dollar coin that's tethered to the U.S. dollar. I'm just going to launch the Code Rush thing, get it out of the way, so you can see the upper left-hand corner of the screen there. A couple things are going on. As Campbell moves the mouse left and right, the time of the tick, or the time where the mouse line is at, is represented up at the top. So you can see that right there.
I can't get to it and hover over it with my mouse, but it's right. Wait, can I?
Yeah, no, you can't. You can't hover over it, but it's right up there. So that's the time. And
sorry.
Go ahead.
Keep going.
Go ahead. What do you want to say?
So if it's a purple line, it means that the stock price didn't change from this dot to this dot. If it's a blue line, it means a blue line and a blue dot. That means that it went up from this dot to that dot.
Right.
If it's a red line, it means it went down from this dot to the red dot.
Right. And that's it. So we've just got like we're sending across information on multiple channels here. One of the channels is color, and another one is shape, the shape of the line, how the shape goes up or down. But I've actually found the color coding useful in places where there's been a slight raise or a slight decrease.
Like here.
Yeah, and I also find it useful as the data starts to compress and I start seeing spikes. The color kind of gives me a sense of like how many spikes do I have in that space.
Yeah.
What's going on exactly? Is there an up and down and an up, or is it just simply an up or a down? That sort of thing. So today, I think we're going to work on two things. We're going to work on creating a hint
that displays the data of the closest dot to the mouse.
Right. And then we're going to work on small moving average, I think, to visualize this.
And long moving average, right?
Yeah, we're going to work on moving averages and graphing those as well. Let me turn on some Code Rush music here. Let's work on the hint.
Okay.
And I think to do that, I'm going to pull up one of my favorite apps for designing stuff. Hold on, where's my mouse? My mouse is here on my screen. It's PowerPoint. Create a new presentation here. I'm going to use PowerPoint to, well, you know what, I've got this stock visualization out here. Let's go open one of these up. This is the stuff we were working on before. Remember when we were working on this? And I said, remember I was like, how do we determine delta x and delta y?
Subtraction.
Yeah, it's just the coordinates. It's the mouse x minus the x position here and the mouse y minus that. And we absolute the value of those. We actually don't need to, because Pythagorean's theorem says you square them, and square is always going to be a positive, regardless of whether the starting number is negative or positive. So now I want to, work on my hint. And I think I want my hint to be kind of a rounded rectangle, like that. And I want it to have kind of a pointer.
Yeah, that points to the point that it's talking about.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm thinking about making it kind of simple. Like this, and then get those two, center them together. I'm thinking about like that. But, well, here, let's do a couple things. Let's make the fill white, or maybe let's make it a lighter version of this. Like that. So it's just going to offset from the background a little bit.
Yeah.
I also want to give it a shadow, I think. So I'm going to come over here, shape fill, do something like that. Let's move it to the back. Turn off its outline, like that. Wait, what happened?
Can
Oh,
you
because
reach
we've
the
got
back and the photos.
the photos in the back as well. Okay. I don't want the shadow to be too much. I don't want it to take our eyes too much off of what we're looking at. Just enough to let us know that, hey, this is up above. It's up above the ground. Actually, before I do that, I think I'm gonna take these two and I'm gonna bring them together. Actually, before I do that, I want to get the right shape for the data, the right aspect ratio. Because this might be the wrong aspect ratio. We need to figure out what we're going to show at that point. So if we go, let's go back to your machine a second. Let's go to the code behind this. When we are moving the mouse, what do? We do add adornments, get the closest ellipse, and we get the stock data point. This is the data. Stock data point has a time, so we can put the time of the tick, put it right there next to it, and it's got a Bittrex tick in it.
Yeah.
Bittrex tick has the symbol, the last trade rate, the bid rate, and the ask rate. Excuse me, and I'm not sure I really fully understand these. Based on what the text is, I have a sense of what they are, but I think I'm missing a fundamental understanding. So I'll give you my rough understanding of this. The bid rate is the highest price. Cenobite Offset is now following. Thanks for that follow, Cenobite Offset. The bid rate is the highest price that somebody says they're going to buy it for.
The ask rate is the lowest.
Is the lowest price that somebody who owns the stock who wants to sell it at. Mm-hmm. That's my understanding.
Or is it the average?
I don't know. I'm only speculating. I've not done really research. I've not seen the data. But I do know that last trade rate, because of its name, has got to be the actual rate at which it was last traded at. That's what we're graphing in here. Mm-hmm. But we have additional information, so we could put this information in here.
Maybe.
And I'm kind of leaning towards, well, I don't know. What do you want to say? I was going to say I was leaning towards putting it all there, but
I think it's useful information.
Okay, so we'll put it all there?
Yeah.
Okay. So to do that, maybe we'll use a stack panel inside of WPF, so we can stack them 1, 2, 3, 4 on top of each other. Mm-hmm. Or maybe we'll use a grid. We can use a grid. A grid gets a little messier in XAML, but it looks a little nicer, especially since we kind of have grid-like data. We're probably going to put, if we switch back to my machine here, we're probably going to put, let me move this over up here. We're probably going to, let's move this behind, send it back. And let's move this all the way behind, so we still got that. Okay. And this border's a little too thick here, too dark. Let's lighten up that border. Okay. So we're probably going to have our data looking something like this. Nope, not like that. Hold on, let's do this right here. So we're going to say something that says time. What's going on with my, there it is right there, okay, time. Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. Time, okay, like that. So we're going to say time, and we're going to put that right up there, like that. And then we'll have another piece in another column over here. It'll be the actual time, like, 1:52, whatever that's going to be.
Okay? Oh, okay, yeah.
And then we're going to come down a little bit. Maybe we'll say the trade price. And we'll move these over a little bit. And over here it's going to say, 6 33255 or something like that, 33255. It'll say USDT or whatever the currency is. Okay? With me on that so far?
Yeah.
Let's drop this down. All right, and then we're going to come down and do 2 more pieces of data.
Which will be?
Well, you tell me.
Oh, right. The bid rate and the ask rate.
Highest bid, lowest ask. Oops. Got an extra thing there I didn't want to grab, I think. Highest bid, and then this is going to be the lowest ask. Like that. Now, what's a grid can do for us, it can line all these up for us on this left align. That's what it can do. Okay? What we need to do is kind of make sure that we have enough room this way to store all the data we need, and the aspect ratio is essentially correct. And I think at this font size, the aspect ratio is essentially correct for this. We might drop the size down a little bit like that, but what really matters here is the aspect ratio right now, right? Which means I'm talking about the width to the height,
yeah,
right there. All right, now with that said, so we now kind of know, whoops, let's go take these. Okay, can I get rid of that? And then, there we go. So I want to take these and group them together, put them off to the side, and now I want to talk about this and this. So the next thing is this, Campbell. How do we want to show this? Let's see, bring to front. So do we want to like kind of just pop it underneath like this, right? Mm-hmm. Which easy to do, but what happens over here, right? See what's happening here?
We could do something similar to what we did with the dashed line and have it sideways.
Go sideways.
Kind of.
Sure, we could totally do that. So we could kind of take this and maybe put it over here.
And then if it got to the other side, other half of the screen, it would flip around.
Yeah, okay, I'm kind of into that. And if we just do 2 of them, we might be able to get away with just 2.
2 what?
2 of these, one going left and one going right.
Yeah.
Because we have a little bit of room underneath. Even if it's up high, I think we're going to be okay. So we'll try to get away with just 2. All right, so now that I have the general shape that I want, right, that's kind of what I want. I'm going to take these 2 and I'm going to union them, turn them into a single shape, like that. Then I'm going to duplicate that shape. Then I'm going to come over here, format paint this one, take this other one, bring it to the front, like this, and get it right kind of where I want it, like that. Since I know the background is white, I don't really need to make this transparent, but I could do that, but I'm really not going to. I'm just going to instead, I'm going to drop its contrast down just a little bit. We just need a hint that it's above the surface. Does that make sense? Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe
I think maybe a bit darker.
I think you're right. A little bit darker. Like that. All right, now that I have that, there's one. Whoops. So there's one. Whoops, I didn't want to get all that. And there's 2. Mm-hmm. Okay? So I'm going to take that. I'm going to copy that to the clipboard. I'm not sure if I can do this all the way across from one desktop to another. Let's see if it works. I'm going to come over here to your desktop and then paste it in. It does not work across. So what
No, it's because it's still running.
You think it's because it's running? All right, let's try it.
Yeah,
I don't think that's it.
Before, I think.
Yeah, this is not painting. I'm not painting a picture, pasting a picture in. I'm actually pasting in a. I'm pasting in a WPF. I mean a WMF vector graphic. What I can do though is I can paste it in on my machine, and that's going to CodeRush will get it and convert it. What happens is mouse without borders, as I do the paste across, changes the format. So I paste it over there first. Now I'm going to come over here, and there's our paste. if we zoom out, we can kind of see it.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
way too big, but
That's
can
all right.
fix that.
So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to say, use the XN template. This is for giving a name to an element on the XAML. The value of creating a name is so that I can access it from the code. I can access that control easily from the code. So I'm going to call this stock hint pointing left. I didn't want to call it just stock hint left because it actually goes to the right. Do you know what I mean? And I don't want it to be confusion, so I'm going to say call it stock hint pointing left.
You spelled stock wrong.
You're right. That's my stick hint. All right. And now, then the other piece I'm going to do is I'm just going to type in like W, maybe 200 right there. And there it's going to...
Oh, it adjusts the height as well.
Yeah. Because it's a view box, it'll scale whatever's inside to fit. And maybe I'll make it 250. And maybe I'll even make it 350. Maybe 300. Okay, so there's one of our hints. I haven't done the other one yet, but it's good. We're going to build it essentially the same way. Now we also need to build, I'm going to collapse this right now. Well, actually I'll do one more thing. I'm going to say, let's set its visibility to false. Why don't you do that for me? Right there, set its visibility to false. Meanwhile, I'm going to grab the other, while you do that, I'm going to grab the other hint pointing right. Copy that to the clipboard. And did you set it, yeah, visibility to hidden, thank you. I feel like I have a recollection of telling you to set it to false, but that wasn't an option. And then I'm gonna paste it in here. And then we're gonna do the same thing there. Why don't, right in there, why don't you type in XN, the template, the encoder's template, yeah. And now type in, grab, you can just copy from above. You basically just need stock hint pointing right. Well, actually it's harder to copy from above because I collapsed it. It looks like you can copy, but you actually have to expand it first. So go ahead and type it in, stock hint pointing right.
Oops.
Good, go outside the quotes, type in W300 and space. Good, so it's the same size, and set its visibility to hidden. Actually, for this one, don't. Yeah, set this one visible. You can go ahead and finish this. Visibility, set it to visible, which is the default. We'll change this to hidden later. But I need it so that we can set the grid up on top of it.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Now, back over to my machine. If we look at the grid, what we need to put in here, it's essentially 2 columns by 4 rows.
Yeah.
See it? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2 columns. 1, 2. So it's a 2 by 4 grid. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Back over to your machine. After this view box right here, you can collapse it on line 40. See next to the light bulb? Mm-hmm. Hit that little minus box, the minus inside the box right there, and that'll collapse that whole view box. It makes it a little easier to read. Go out to the end and hit enter. Hit end and then hit enter. Now we want a 2 by 4 grid, I think, right? So it's G2X4. CodeRush templates here helping you out. Good. Look at that. You just created a whole grid, a 2 by 4 grid. I'm going to call it grid stock tick details. I like to have good names, right, for the pieces. Width, I'm not sure. But I know I'm sorry, not sure about my height, but my width I know it's going to be 300. And oh look, see right above?
Yeah.
See right here? That's where that grid is. So I actually don't want it 300 because I don't want it to be out there. I want it to go to here. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to come in here and we're going to say we want it to be...
270?
Okay.
Maybe 280?
Let's try 260.
Yeah.
Getting better. The left is it's a little it's a little off.
It's almost like it's 259.
Do you see what I'm saying right there?
Yeah.
It's like if we zoom in, we really want the top and left of the grid to be right here. What we can do right now, let's do a couple things. Let's actually make it shorter than that. I think about 240 for now. Then I want to come in here and I want to say, let's go into canvas dot left, and we're going to set left is equal to maybe about 10. I'm just doing this for now for layout reasons. We're going to change this position later when we position it on the screen. Canvas top, I'll make it 10 as well. I think that's okay. And see these lines right here, Campbell? There's like 4 lines right here.
Yeah.
Those lines represent each of the rows. The row definitions that you see down here, they say their height is auto, which means if I were to put something in one
there,
of the...
it would adjust.
Yeah, so if I were to just type in V here and get a button, now should have a button up there at the top, and I'm going to say like hello, like this. There's my hello button. It's in row 1. And see how all the other rows now have moved down below it? Row 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's kind of what's going on there. So that's how a grid works. So we want to get a couple text blocks in here is what we want to do. So I'm just going to type in TV. And I don't need a name for these. Normally it'll get me a name for most components like this when I use the coder's template. But I'm just going to hit a comma because I don't need a name for it. Does that make sense? Comma means shorter version of the template.
Got it.
Remember that? All right, so I'm going to call this, what do we say, time? Wait, is time the most important thing? What's the most important thing here?
I would say the trade rate, I think.
Okay, so we're going to call it the trade price.
Trade rate.
That's the most important thing. What's the next most important thing?
I would say bid rate, or bid.
Highest bid?
Yeah, highest bid, and then after that is lowest ask.
And then lowest ask is the next one. Now notice what's happening up in the visual up above.
Yeah.
Everything's going into row 0, column 0.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the 0 indexing we talked about? The same thing happens all over the place.
0, 1, 2.
Yeah, it happens all over the place in code. And so they're overlapping each other. To get this down to the next row, I come down here and there's a coder's template called R1.
Row 1.
Yeah, and down here I'm going to come down here and say R2.
P2.
Yeah, the cool thing about this is if I duplicate this line, it should catch that this should be in 3. See it?
Yeah.
That's duplicate line. Now I'm going to call this time, and that's it. So I've now taken care of the left side. Okay, you with me so far?
Yes.
Now, in some controls I can set the font size and it'll change all the children's, but it does not, that's not the case of the grid. Could it be the case of the canvas? No. So there's a couple ways to solve this. One is to do a style, which I'm really rusty at. I'll see if I can figure it out if you don't mind. I'll see if I can get it in there. Grid dot resources, like this. And then style, okay, good. That got me a little bit closer. Target type is equal to text block style. And so now inside the style, I can set a property. I can create a setter in here, I think. Oh man, I think I'm gonna actually get this, Campbell. I create a setter.
What does it do?
What'd you say?
What does the style do?
It says that for everything, every control inside of this grid, because this is in the resources section of the grid, it only impacts the grid. But it's gonna allow me to go in here now and choose a property here. So I can come in here and say property is equal to, and we're gonna grab font size, right? And then we're gonna say value is equal to, and we'll say 22. See what just happened?
Yeah.
So it's a nice way to change the font size of everything inside there by default. Instead, I would have to come down in each one and say, here, I want the font size to be 18 or 22 or whatever it's going to be on each one. Does that make sense? I'm just saving myself some time. In fact, we could even take the width and height pieces that are auto. We could probably get rid of those anyway because they're probably defaults, but we could also set them here. Anything we want to set here. that's the same for all of those. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we could add another setter here if we wanted to. Like we could come in here and say font color, for example, and the value could be red. And is that going to work? Why didn't that work?
I think it's colors dot red, right?
Let's go see what. Maybe I've got this wrong. Maybe it's not font color. It's foreground. It's foreground. There you go. See it?
Yeah.
What's cool is CodeRush didn't start showing you the underliner. This may not be CodeRush. Is this? That's CodeRush right there. This I think is Visual Studio. So this is interesting, right? CodeRush has had this for years, and then Visual Studio added this part of the feature right here. Anyway, okay. So we could do that kind of thing if we wanted to. We could change the font color. In fact, I think I kind of want to change it. I want to kind of get it this kind of orangish color, but I want to make it really dark brown, like that. Just so it's not black. I'm just kind of, so cool. Also,
it's like a golden.
What'd you say?
Amber. It's like a golden amber.
Yeah, I actually want to drop it even more. I want to bring it out in this space right here so it's less saturated. I don't want to highlight it. These are just labels, right? And I want to really...
The important stuff is the information.
Yeah, the important stuff is the information, which we're going to put off to the side. Okay, we're kind of getting better. With the font size is not bad. Let's go to 19 and see how it fits. Let's go to 20 and see how it fits. Okay, 20 is not bad, but look, it's cropped at the bottom. I'm pretty sure...
right, because we made the height.
It's the height right there. All we need to do is, so it's about 115 is what it looks like, the height. Okay? So
yeah.
Cool. Now we've got text that's nicely distributed there, right? Then we want to put in another text block, but this time I'm not going to use the comma here because I want to give it a name because I need to access it from the code to fill its value.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to call this one TB price or trade price. I don't think there's really any harm in giving longer names to things. And
especially if you're only using them once.
And I'm going to just say right now, something like 0 or 00, I don't know, 0 BTC. I want to put some sample data here just so I make sure that I've got it in the right place and it's the right color and it looks good. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, so it's in the wrong place. We used R1 to get into row 1 before. What template do you think we use?
C1?
C1 to get into column 1. Okay, see that? Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Let's duplicate that. This is now going to go to column 2. No, this stays in column 1. Sorry, that one's going to stay in. We're going to call this one now. This next one down is the highest bid, right?
And now we need to change the row of this one.
Yeah, highest bid. The text is going to be, we're going to make it, we'll make it 2 BTC. We're going to change this one to a 1, and then we're going to make our lowest ask be it. Well, let's do it 1, 2, and 3 for these. We'll make this one 2, this one 3. We want to make this one at row 1, so R1, right there. Then we're going to duplicate that, and this one's going to be at row 2. Down here, like that, and we look at. Did it already give us this name change for us? Sweet.
How did it get price though?
The word price. It saw us make a change before, I think. Oh, lowest ask. You're right. We just want it. Do we want it to be trade price, highest bid, lowest ask? I'm going to just change it to that.
Lowest ask.
Yeah. All right, and duplicate it one more time. And then this is going to be the time right there, and then we're just going to say 0 o'clock, like that, something like that.
0 o'clock.
And no BTC. Okay, not bad, but see the space between here and here?
Yeah.
It's really close.
Uh-huh.
It's really close. Also, is this an optical illusion or? Yeah, it's an optical illusion. I thought the left was lower than the right, but they're actually totally lined up. Okay, good.
For what? For time or
look at the baselines. I thought that the piece on the right was a little higher. I thought this piece was higher than this, but they're good. I want more space between these two. right? The way we read is if we see all of this together and without a space, we're going to think this 3 is part of this word, and it's harder to read. Our cognitive load will go up. So I want to add a column right in between. It's a way to do it. Another way to do it would be to do a margin. Okay? Or I could come in here and I could say like, you know, M0 and then say the left margin was 10, and I could do it that way. But I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it instead like this. I'm going to come into column definition, duplicate this line. I'm going to say it's 5 wide. Okay? Yeah. Then I need to change all of these. Do you remember how to do rectangular editing?
Rectangular selection?
Yeah. Alt-Shift.
It's Alt-Enter, right?
No, it's Alt-Shift and then the arrow keys. Go ahead and do a rectangular selection on all these 1s and turn them into 2s. Good job.
Ah!
What happened?
I hit enter.
Oh, just undo it. There you go. Cool.
Oops.
Nice. Okay. So
yes.
Now we've got this margin, and now we want to make it maybe a little bigger. Easy to do. I change it in one place instead of 20 or 4. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, nice layout. That looks good. Okay. Now what happens if we use the other one? What if we make this hidden, like that? We make this one visible. And that's what I was expecting. Right there. And so right now we started at left 10 and top 10.
Yeah.
I'm going to take both of those. I'm going to paste those in. I'm going to select them. I'm going to hit Control-KC to comment them out, just to remember those. Now I'm going to change these to see what I need to get to make it fit and work. So my top stays the same, but the left looks like it needs to go to maybe 60, maybe 50, maybe 45. Yeah. So it's a difference of 35. The left position needs to be moved over a little more. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I think we're ready to write some code. Well, we want to actually do one more thing. We actually want to set this visibility to false.
You mean hidden?
That's exactly what I mean. And we want to set this visibility to hidden as well. We only want to show these when it's time to show these.
And we can access the visibility from the code, so.
We absolutely can. Okay, so those are our pieces for our hint. We have 2 different pieces to point left or right, and we have a grid with the data. Okay? You with me so far?
Yes.
All right, step 1, how about if we just update the grid without moving the hint? We just do this a piece at a time. Does that make sense what I'm saying? I'm suggesting instead of trying to do everything and make it work, what if we just did it a piece at a time?
Okay.
All right, let's see if you can find the place. It's something we worked on yesterday, a good place to update this grid data. Yeah, you're really, really close. That's where we get the nearest point. Now, that's where we get it, but look, what are you saying I'm about? Oh, because of that. Are you looking at the highlighting on it? You wondering what that means?
No.
Okay.
Is add adornments it?
Yeah, you're right in the right spot, actually. You're right here. Get nearest point. That gets the stock data point. That's got the data in it that we want to show. At this point, what I want to do, look, if it's not null, right now, we're setting the title. It's not really a good idea generally to change your title, unless, especially, just to show little bits of data. So we're going to eventually comment this line of code out. What I want to do instead, though, is I want to do this. I want to say, show hint data, like that. And I think we also want to pass in the closest ellipse, or X and Y. See the X and Y? We've already got those up there.
Yeah.
I think we want to pass those in. So we'll say, there's our nearest point. Maybe X and Y first. X, Y, and nearest point. Can you declare that method for me?
Yep.
Okay, so we're not going to use X and Y yet because we're not moving it yet. But can you fill in those text boxes that we gave names to, that we just added, with actual data?
Yes. Wait, no, because it's a text box.
Look at what IntelliSense is suggesting. I think those are the names I gave them. See those top four?
Yeah. We should probably...
Stock price is different from trade price. One of those two is right, but I'm not sure which one those two are. I know highest bid, lowest ask.
We should probably change the name of these so that it's TBX stock price, because this looks like it could be a text block.
These are text blocks. They're not
right, 'cause
text
we
boxes.
can't change that.
They're text blocks, which is the same abbreviation I've been consistently
It's
using.
trade
for
price, I believe.
Okay.
Oops.
If you're not sure, you can tap to next reference and see if you end up inside of the grid. You're gonna have to give a semicolon at the end of the line here, or a dot or something to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, that's in the hint.
Perfect.
While you do that, I'm gonna look up how to calculate a moving average.
And then here, what is it called again? It's Bittrex client, right? The thing that has...
Look to your parameters. You've got what? How many parameters do you have in this method?
3.
And which of those parameters is going to have the useful data you're looking for?
Did you figure out how to calculate average?
I'm looking at it, but I'm also watching your code too. Not quite done with that tick. That tick is going to be a Bittrex tick. It's not going to have the actual price you want yet. You need to keep going. You need to do a dot there and see what's inside tick. There you go. See it?
Yeah.
All right. Now continue this down. So you've got our trade price being set. Set the highest bid.
What was it? It was bid rate. Okay. Would you believe I finish?
All right. Test it. I should tell you, I already know it's not going to work. You're going to need to make a change to the code. Why aren't you seeing anything?
I'm not sure. I need to check the code.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the code you've written. It's just missing something. Why aren't you seeing?
Exactly. That's what I'm... It's not closing.
Interesting. Let's take a look at it.
No, I shifted 5.
Oh, next time that happens, let's say I want to take a look at it.
Okay.
Because it could be that we have a lockup where I'm locking in one place, calling something else, and locking on the same piece, maybe, and it can't get. You can't do that. I should look very carefully at the locks we added. That's probably the problem. Okay, so let me show you the 2 pieces that are important to see here. See the grid?
Yeah.
See that?
Mm-hmm.
Do we ever change that to anything other than hidden?
Oh, no, we do not.
So that's the guy you want to change. Right there. What's happening? What are you thinking?
This doesn't seem right, but it probably is.
What doesn't seem right?
This line of code.
Tell me.
I feel like there's an easier way to do it. Like,
Let's say, show yourself.
Or, no, just like grid stock tick details dot visibility dot visible. You can't just do that, right?
Right, you cannot do that. You have to do it this way. You have to assign it. Visibility is an enum, and so you've got visibility. This visibility here is an enum, as a property of type enum, and this is the visibility enum right here. Excuse me, which has 3 options.
Visible, hidden, and class.
That's it. The only way to do it is to do it that way.
Okay.
So do you want to see if it works, or should we just... leave? You got to get over a dot, and at some point now I think it should work, but we don't see it. I know why. Because we clear the adornments every time. We clear the children in the adornments every time. So I need to create yet another canvas. We're going to call this hints. Okay? Let's try it now. See how we do. I bet that fixes it. Still gotta wait for the first piece of data to come in.
Wait.
There it is. See it in the upper left?
Yeah. Uh-oh, it's cut off a bit.
Okay, so we'll have to format it.
And make it so that it doesn't include the decimal points.
I can't hear you. Can you say it a little louder?
And make it so that it doesn't include the decimal points, because I feel like those are important.
Well, it really depends on what the value of the price of the coin is. Right? If the coin is less than a penny, you want to see all those decimal points.
That's true. Oh, wait, yeah, we should just resize it. Because it's the same thing with the time. You can't see it.
Yeah, it's like we didn't get the aspect ratio right.
Because we were doing it with regular numbers, not...
Yeah, I think we want to increase the aspect ratio. That's what I think we want to do.
That's what I'm...
We want to do that first. I'm going to fix that over on my machine. Switching over to my machine. We're looking at the way to calculate a small moving average. It seems pretty simple. You just basically grab some prices and then get the average over that small period. So you just kind of go back and you say, I want to get the last 5 prices or within this time, take the average within this time, and you change your time chunk. That's my understanding of it based on what I've seen so far. So we need to stretch these out. I'm going to...
I feel like it would be easier to do that in the ammo.
Maybe. I'm not sure. I think I kind of want to just... I do know how to do it here, and I'm not sure how to do it in Xaml.
Can't we just change the width of the text block they're in?
No, because then it'll go outside. I have to... This is the shape we're holding on. This is the aspect ratio. I got to get the aspect ratio right. That's what I'm trying to get here. So we basically think we need about another, like that. That's what I think we need. So that's what I want to do. I'm going to do that. I'm going to copy this to clipboard, come into my XAML, paste it in, and then we're going to cut here, come back over, switch over to your machine, go get your, so pointing left was the one I just copied, is that right? Hold on a second,
yes.
Sorry. Let me check on my machine. No, I did pointing right. So mine was pointing right, so it's this one. I'm going to keep this because I like what's written up at the top. And I'm just going to go from here to here, paste. Then I'm going to delete my top line, my view box line that I just pasted in, so it's actually is correct. And now we've got the wider one here. The width isn't going to be 300 though, it's going to be like 340. Something like that, I think. We'll have to play with that. 340. Next. I want to get the one pointing left.
Yes.
Hold on, sorry, I'm going to show you my machine so you can see what's going on here. I'm looking for it. Where is it? I'm going to undo it. There it is. It's right there. Okay, line 18 is where it started. Cutting that back over to your machine, pasting in there, and then deleting the top part of the paste, changing this to 340. So if that was previously 300 and this will drop by 60, 340, this will go to 280. Just making that change alone might fix this here. Doesn't look like it fixes it. We'll have to restart it. Let's stop the app. We got invalid markup. What's my problem? Oh, got an extra view box. Looks like. Okay. Let's make one of these visible. Let's go look down here on the grid details. Make it visible. Be just a little wider. Make it 290. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's drop its size. Let's drop the font size down. So right here, let's take it to 18 maybe. That's pretty good. So making it 45, this will probably become like now 50. And the width is maybe 280. There you go. So look at that. We've got this nice margin here. It goes all the way out to the end if we have to. I think it's gonna, there's definitely more room. There's more data we can show here. Let's see now what happens when we run it. Okay, not bad. The time is the one that's not showing now.
Yeah. Barely, but yeah.
We could break the time into 2 lines, I suppose, too. Change the aspect ratio again if we want to. Or we can drop the font size. Certainly do that. Change the aspect ratio even more. I think I'm going to change the aspect ratio even more. Let me get that for you real quickly here.
Or
What you got?
maybe... No, never mind. I was thinking maybe we could get rid of the time altogether because we already have this piece right here that shows it.
Okay. I can do that, but then I still have to change the aspect ratio because then I've got this
That's what I was saying.
big empty thing down at the bottom there. All right, so let's switch over to my machine for a second. Here we go. We got these 2 here and here. We just need to increase it a little bit more. Look at there. Oh man! Pudding. Come on, pudding. All right, this is pointing left. Let's get over to you. Let's go find the left pointing one. There. Get rid of that guy. All right, so now there's my left pointing one. Let's get the pointing right one. Get that one in here too. Pointing right. Copy, paste, cut, paste, and then cut back over to your machine. There it is right there. This is what we need, pudding. How you doing, pudding? All right, so now I've got these 2 pieces here that I've just added in. Let's go see how we are doing with everything fitting. We're going to change the width to maybe 360 for both of these now. With that, we can drop the font size because I think we have room to drop the font size, and then we're going to get more data in there. So let's do that. We're going to go to the grid next, and we're going to say, okay, the font size, let's make it 16. That's pretty good. Maybe 17. Maybe 16.3. All right, that feels pretty good to me. My left, let's move the left over a bit. Let's make it 53. All right, how are we looking? Oh, look at this! Lasamat! Lasamat!
Hello.
We're doing well, Lasamat. How are you doing? Welcome. We're over here on Campbell's machine working on a hint to show us
for stocks.
the price of a stock as we're moving the mouse around. Right now we're just updating the value, making sure we have enough space in here. Lasamat says busy but well. Good. All right, so we're running it now. I just want to make sure we have enough. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. So now we have enough room for that long time and all the other data. So this is just going to update as we move close. We don't have the piece moving yet, right?
2 things. I think we should make the information bold or make a grid around it so that you know which pieces are where, and your brain isn't working.
No, yeah, I get that. Here, let's look at let's look at doing that right now. So take a look what's happening. This setter foreground, that's applying to every single one. But these where I have actual data, in this case, I actually want to make it high contrast. So I actually want to make it kind of kind of black. So I can come in here and just say, well, let's make it black, like that. Copy that, and paste it there, paste it there,
Paste it.
and paste it there. So here's one change. I didn't make it bold yet,
No.
but
We
there.
might not need to make it bold.
What if we made just trade price bold?
Yeah.
It's the most important information. That's
is.
this guy. So that's a property called font weight. Why don't you try to do it? And this is an enum. Look at all those choices you got. All right, let's see how it looks. Save it and see how it looks. Alt tab to get to it quickly. All
Yeah,
right, think
I
it worked.
like that.
Okay.
That
Cool.
makes it much easier to read.
All right, cool. Let me show you something else that's coming in here. Another piece of data that's coming in that we're not using is the symbol. Pretty sure we got that in here.
Yeah.
Tick dot symbol. So let's declare local for it. Let me set a breakpoint right here just so you can see it. Take a look at the symbol. I'm hovering over it, trying to get a tooltip up. I'm going to right click it and say quick watch because I'm not seeing the tooltip. Symbol's null. What? Really? Oh wait, I know why it's null. Because we haven't executed code yet. Let's come back up here. There it is. That's what we're expecting. See that? BTC-USDT.
Yeah.
So what that means is we're looking at the price of Bitcoin measured in the USDT coin.
Yeah.
Okay?
US dollars, pretty
So
much.
what that means is the units for all of these, highest bid, lowest ask, those are in USDT. USDT. So that's the currency that these prices are all in. So what I want to do is this, is I want to say, hey, currency, like this. I want to say, hey, if symbol.index of, we use index of all the time to see if there's like something inside of a string. Let me those kind of quotes on it, is that right? Yeah, index of that string, if index of is greater than 0, greater than or equal to 0, then we've got a dash inside here.
Nope. Only greater than 0.
Okay, fine.
Because if it's greater than or equal to, it means that there could be 0 dashes and it would still register as
No, it's the index of it means the first character is a dash. But that wouldn't really ever happen because there's always going to be characters in front of it. Yeah. So we're going to call this the dash index, like that. And so if the dash index is greater than 0, then we're going to come down here and we're going to say currency is equal to symbol dot substring starting at dash index, I think +1. And up here, I'm going to just set currency equal to string.empty, an empty string. So let's come back down and let's execute all these lines again, one at a time here. So dash index is 3. So now we're going to say get the substring starting at 4, which gets me the end. That's my currency. Now that I have currency, can you change these interpolated strings right here so that they include currency where we want to put that currency?
I can't. Oh, dang.
Oh, you want to do it on all of them?
Mm-hmm.
You could do
But-
this as a trick. See that? I just added an extra space, now they're all lined up. But you're going to put it at the beginning, and I'm almost thinking it makes sense to put it at the end. For a US dollar, some currencies you put it at the beginning of the number, but most currencies you put it at the end. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
and even when we're talking, we usually say it in the end. We'll say it's for dollars,
Why is
Right.
it?
or US dollars, or euros, or something like that. Why is what? Why does it look weird and funny?
No, why is it selecting this? I know it's not actually selecting it, but why does it look like it?
Why is it doing that? It's highlighting. Hold on a second. It's highlighting the neighboring connecting piece. See what's going on? When I see what I'm on. See what it's connecting with.
Yeah.
So it's doing that, and it's doing it in kind of a slightly funky way because I have a breakpoint on the line which changes the line color. If I take off the breakpoint, it's not as noticeable. But see, it still happens. See what's going on? See, it's connecting the two? So what I would do is I would put it here. That would be my suggestion.
And then just currency.
Yep. You could just run that and see if that's exactly how you want it. And before you make the other changes if you want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think it's looking good. If you copy that, then you can do you could also have done Alt-Shift to do multi-line edit on that and paste them both in. All right, cool. Cool. Next, we need to move the hint near that point. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right, so to move the hint, we kind of got to calculate, you know, where this is. Right here, this point, relative to its upper left.
Mm-hmm.
Because this, if it's on the left side, we want to get the left side in the right spot. So we'll just kind of take this a step at a time. Let's first try to get just the left lined up with the point. Okay? So we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do two things. I think we're gonna do this. We're gonna say, hey, look, if x is less than chart translator dot chart width in pixels divided by 2. So if x is on the left side, then we're going to come down here and we're going to say, what did I call those hints? Stock hint pointing right, stock hint pointing left. That's less than that. We're gaming. That's Star Wars sound. Thanks, Lassa Matt. Bum, 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 ba da 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 da. All right, so here we're going to say visibility is equal to visibility dot visible. Wait, is that right? If we're on the left side, we're going to point to the right. No, we need to point to the left. So this one should actually be hidden. Let's just get visibility working on this.
Other way around, right?
I'm not sure. At this point, I'm not sure. My gut tells me this is it, but I'm really not thinking about it too much.
No, because if you're on the left side, you have to point right.
Left side?
No. If
No,
you're on
you
the
point left.
side, you have to point left.
Because the points, yeah, see what I'm saying? So I think it's this. I think this is right, but if not, it's easy to flip. So we're just going to do this and see if we're getting just only this. We're taking a step at a time, right? Anytime you have to do something complex, it's always best to make a small change and test. So let's just do that and see if we see the hints correctly.
So
we're going to need to get the button now.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
That's correct.
That's correct. Good. Okay, next, let's get the left position in the right spot. Okay? You with me?
Yes.
Okay, so now to get that, we need to do this. We need to say canvas. Do you remember this? What's the call?
It's the nearest. It's just. It's get. No. It's like get nearest point or something.
Oh, I see what you're doing. We've already got that. We've got the X and Y already coming in. We know what those are. We need to just use them. We need to use set left. That's what I was trying to trigger your memory recollection of. If we want to set the left or right property of something on a canvas, it's an attached property, so we have to go to canvas and call set left or set top. That's all I'm saying. So we're going to call set left here, and we're going to pass in this guy, the guy that's visible, right there, and its left position, we're going to set it to X for now. just to see how that works.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's going to be over the dot, but
we'll
that's
see.
okay for now.
What do I do here for this one? Set left.
That's set right? No, that's just pointing right.
What changes about this line of code here?
It changes from stockhand pointing left to stockhand pointing right.
Right, good job. That's exactly what it does.
And that's it.
We'll try it, see what works. I think we're gonna have big problems here, but we'll see what happens. We're gonna have to move it. We're gonna have to adjust it. But let's see what happens. Gotta wait for that first data point to come in. There we go. Now you should be able to take a look at it. Okay, so what's going on? Okay, that one looks good. That left.
Oh no, it doesn't change. It does it at the very top, and on the right, it's not working.
The right is totally messed up. It's off screen.
Yeah.
It's totally off screen up there. But this one looks good to me.
No, because look here, it's not adjusting on the y-axis. But we didn't try to make.
Yeah, no, I'm just talking about the x position now. See, the x position is totally right.
Well, no, because the text is not in the right place.
Wait, how is it? What are you talking about?
Look.
Oh, yeah, we haven't moved the text. That's on a separate thing. It's on its own grid.
Okay.
We're taking it a step at a time, my friend. But the left side is right. The right side, what's wrong with the right side?
It's doing the corner to here. So we need to move it over
by its whole entire width.
And also we should probably move this up a bit, depending on the y-axis.
Yeah, we haven't solved the y-axis yet. Let's get this right. Let's get this one here working. This one, let's get this working first, right? One step at a time. This is a cool thing about working in 2 dimensions. We can solve for 1 dimension without having to solve for both at the same time, right? And by keeping your focus on just one problem at a time.
Why can't you do that for 3 dimensions?
Huh?
Why are you saying that about 2 dimensions? You can do that in 3.
Yeah, we can do it in 4 and 5 as well. But I'm pointing out that when we have multiple dimensions, how about if I use the word multiple dimensions? Will you be happier? Mm-hmm. It's a cool thing about working in multiple dimensions. You can isolate one and solve the problem in the one, and then move, and then go forward from there. All right, so over here, we got to solve this. We got to subtract the width of this guy.
Yeah.
Is what we got to do. So let's go look at that. We can maybe even do it while we're running. Yeah, I was worried about this side of the problem here. Let's go ahead and do that. So what we're going to do is we want to say it's x minus this dot, and I'm going to try actual width right there. What do we get there? 360, sweet. Let's run that and see how that works. Oh, that looks better. Doesn't that look like that's lined up right there?
Yeah.
Right on the dot? I'm loving it. All right, next, the y. We can do this using edit and continue too. All right, so ready for the y? Now, the y is the same regardless because it's symmetric. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
The y is the same, so we don't need to put it in here or here. We can put it like up here. Do you want to try starting writing that line of code?
Yeah.
Use IntelliSense for you, buddy. There you go. Oh, there's one. There's one mistake. It's the same line of code. Let's do this. Let's create a new y position. We'll calculate it here. We'll figure that out.
Why? We already have it.
Well, I don't think it's going to be right. For right now, let's just call it y. We're going to need to change it.
Why?
What'd you say?
Why?
Hold on a second. Hello? You are live on my show right now, John. What can I do to help you out? I don't think we need anything at all, but I'm glad you called to be on the show. That's excellent. This is John, everybody. He's going to the farmer's market once. He says hi to everybody. Yeah, I think we're good. I think we're totally good, my friend. Because all right, we'll get back to it. Talk to you later. Bye. All right.
Okay. Why do you think we have to change the Y position?
Because it's down by a little bit. We're gonna have to move it. But but we are gonna need 2 lines in here, one in here and one down here. And the reason why is because of this right here. Oh man, come on. Every time. I've had a shower already today.
I've had a shower of pudding already.
Yeah, we had a shower of pudding. I guess we did need Copperbeardy to clean us off after pudding got here. Hey Copperbeardy, welcome. Glad to have you with us. Glad you're here. All right, so setting top, we're just going to use Y position here. We need 2 different ones because we're going to set it for the left one here, and we're going to set it for the right one down here, right? Because we're using 2 different hints. Make sense?
Yeah.
Copperbeardy, tell Copperbeardy what we're working on.
We're working on stock analysis and. Currently we're working on graphing the data of Bitcoin in specific, and
but it could be anything, any coin,
yes.
graphing it live, getting some
Bitcoin
data.
to US dollars.
Whoops, let me switch over to your machine so we can actually see it over there. Whenever we get a fanfare, it switches back to my machine. Isn't that cool? It's getting closer, but see what I mean? It's down too far.
Yeah.
We need to raise it up.
Probably
I think the magic number looks to be about
10?
33, 30.
Okay.
That's what I think it is, something like that. So we're going to say it's equal to Y minus, we'll try 30 for now. I said a breakpoint.
Wait, why minus?
What'd you say?
Why minus?
Because it needs to move up, and we start at 0 at the top and goes down.
Oh, right. I found it, yeah.
All right, so now, it's not bad. I think we need to move up a little bit more, so we need to minus.
35?
I'm going to say 34.
4?
We'll do 34 here. Set a breakpoint. And let's try that. Oh yeah, that's looking really good.
That's perfect.
Isn't that looking sweet?
Yeah.
Good?
Now we just need to move the text.
We need to get that text inside it. That's all we got to do. All right. At this point, now that we know, well, yeah, let's go ahead and keep going. So we're going to need to do essentially similar code here, but now with this, it's got to be with our grid. Stock details. We need to set its X and Y position. Okay? We could, for now, Campbell, just try this.
We could.
And see how it's going to get close, but not as close as we want.
Yeah.
But let's try that, okay? And then, like we said, we're just going to do adjust these a bit at a time. Okay, so this one is off by this, always going to be off by the same amount, and this one is always going to be off by the same amount. So this one, at the very least, we know one of the things we need to do here is subtract the whole width of that shape above my fingers, of that call out. Okay, so that's an easy fix for the one on the right. The one on the right is in here. And so that's going to be X minus this whole thing right here. Well, since I'm going to do the same expression twice, it makes a lot of sense to just, create a variable called X position and only do it once. Makes the code easier to read too.
Yeah.
Oops. Like that. All right. So we're going to come back up here because I execute this line of code again because I just changed it and moved it up. And we're going to hit run. We're going to try the right side, see how it looks. It needs to be indented a bit.
Lowered a bit.
We need to add 10 to it about probably and lower it about 5. Let's mark that and do those changes. So we're going to say X position plus 10. And we're going to try Y position plus 5. We're just kind of, trying it. We're sculpting it, right? We're seeing how does it look? Mm-hmm. Making small changes. Okay, that looks way better.
Much better.
I want to add just a little bit in. I want to maybe three pixels in for both of those. What'd you say?
Oh, for both, yeah.
Yeah, I want this to go to like 13, and this one to go to 8.
Pixels?
Yeah, those are pixels. All right, so let's do that.
And the pixel can only display one color, right?
Yes. Well, yeah, that's kind of true. It has a red, green, blue component to it.
But it can't show a pattern, a pixel.
Right. Okay, so the right side is fixed. Sweet. The left side, problematic. We got to add at least this distance of the point across, and I'm going to say it looks like to be about 60. So I'm going to come in over here, set a breakpoint. We're going to say x plus 60 and y
I'm
position.
I'm gonna say it's 60, like 4,
Oh,
3.
this y position should be exactly the same as the solution down below.
Yeah,
The plus 8 right there.
that's true.
And since I'm doing plus 8 in both these places and the only place I'm using y position, was that true? No, it's not. No, we're totally good. I was about to change it here.
Does it need to be? No, never mind.
All right, let's run that and see how that looks and works. It's too far to the left.
Yeah.
I need to move it to the, I mean, it's too far to the right. I need to move it to the left by about 8 pixels, I think. So maybe make this 52. Okay. How are we doing now? Maybe make it 50.
I think it's gonna be like 48.
You want to do 48?
Yeah.
You got it. Let's try that. Too much, too close. Let me take it back to 50. I wanted you to be right. All right. Set a breakpoint and run. All right, go ahead, move the mouse around, see how it feels. I think we can make the font a little bit bigger. See how the word time, but it's nicely, the data is nicely fitting inside the aspect ratio we have. I think also, what do you think about highest bid being in blue and lowest ask being in red? I'm not sure about that, but what do you think about that?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, also, could, if there are zeros, if like, for here, oh, dang it, I don't have control of the mouse.
Fried LOL is asking, do you know any good resources to learn ASP.NET Core, tutorials, and etc.? I do not have any strong recommendations, but I would suggest like Microsoft Learn as a starting place. That's where I would go. Microsoft Learn is a good place to start. Copperbeardy says the same thing. So ASP.NET Core tutorials. I'm just typing that in on my machine up here. Let's see what we get. .NET, Microsoft.com, Learn. That's feeling like a good place. Making ASP.NET Core website. Look at that. Looking like a good starting place. I'm going to give you a link to that right now, Fright. There you go. Okay, back to Campbell's machine. What do we think about it? Font size a little bigger?
Font size a little bigger, and if there's any decimals that are zeros that are after, so if that, yeah, like right, oh dang it, oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw it. Right
like
there.
right here.
Clear
Get
the
rid of
zeros.
that last zero, because
Yeah.
it's not necessary.
Right, and we could even clear more of those
Yes,
if you wanted to.
but I feel like, again,
Okay.
if it's less than a penny worth of stuff.
We talked about it, yeah. Okay. So clearing the trailing zeros. I was actually looking at this problem the other day, and it turns out there's no easy, great way to do this, apparently.
Isn't there the
It requires code.
trim?
Sure, you can use trim. That's for strings. We've got numbers,
Right.
but you can turn the number to a string and then trim it. In fact, I think that's what I ended up doing. Let me go look at my code for doing this. Let's see if I can find that. Yeah. So let me get this for you here. Hold on a second. All right, I copied some code to the clipboard. We're going to need to use that here in this space. So I'm going to paste in my method. This is the method I ended up using. It's called getNum. It takes a decimal value and an optional parameter, the number of digits you want it to be in. It defaults to 29. And it's string. Look at this. It converts to a string and calls trim end. See it?
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? So it does it in a culture independent format as well. So it's pretty. So this involved a fair amount of research to get to this block of code to actually solve the problem. But now I've got a get num call that we can now pass these into. Remember, I can select this whole thing, hit the paren key, and it'll embed it in parens.
Yeah.
So I've got that code option selected. I can hit Shift 9 to get the paren on the left side, so I can paste it. I haven't pasted it yet.
0 if you.
And there we go. All right. So we've got those get nums right there. I just want to double check on our. Yeah, we got foreground black on all of those. Cool. Okay, let's run it to the breakpoint and see how that does with our zeros. Did we get rid of the trailing zeros? We did. We also got commas.
Commas! That's what it was missing.
Which in the United States is our 1,000 separator character. This is different in other countries, by the way.
Yeah, it can be a decimal point for instead of a comma, and
Right.
then a comma instead of a decimal point.
Right. Okay, well that's looking pretty good. We've now got a hint that follows us around. What were you going to say?
This might be too much, but maybe we change it based off of what currency you're translating it into. So if you're going from Bitcoin to euros, we make it decimal point instead of comma and comma instead of decimal point.
Oh, I see. Yeah, no, I don't think so. I think we
Okay.
could do that, but I'm going to say it's better this way because this is actually, we'll use wherever you run this program in, it'll use the local culture's 1,000 separator and decimal separator.
Okay.
Which I think is better, right? Because you want the person watching it to all see all the numbers using their separators.
Even if they're yeah.
But you're right, you totally could do it. That's kind of a neat idea. Okay. Small moving averages. Should we tackle that? We got about 36 minutes.
Yeah, let's at least plan.
All right.
Talk about what.
So, I could be wrong on this, but my sense is that small moving averages, basically, I'm going to choose a time period
Yes.
or a number of trades in the past to look at. We can do it either way. But because we're cleaning up the trades, we're getting rid of trades where nothing happens.
Yeah.
See that? We need to. We can't really use trades anymore because we're culling data. We're removing data as it comes in if it's essentially deemed redundant. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? What I just said to you?
Yeah.
So because we're getting rid of it, we're going to have to use a time period. So what that means is we're going to say, okay, so the smallest moving average for this point, we're going to have to go back in time a certain number and sample what was the price here, here, and here, get the average of it, and put it at that point. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. To go back in time and get a sample, okay, well, to do that, we're going to need to say, okay, what's the point to the left of where I'm asking in time, right? What's the point to the left, what its value, and then get it. And then move my time back again.
Yeah.
Or, wait, I might have an interesting idea. Is that true? No. Yeah, so I've got to go back. I've got to kind of go, am I going back and sampling? How am I going to do this? Yeah, I think the question is, what's the value right here between these 2 points? And I think the answer is, it's the value on the left, which means what's the value here? It's the value on the left. Because really, it's not a diagonal line between here and here. It's a straight line across and then a straight line up. Does that make sense? So yeah. I need to see what's to the left at that time point. So I'm going to sample here. And so that means if I'm the thing I'm not sure about is how do I make sure I don't miss a spike? In other words, if I'm going back here 5 seconds, I go, well, let's say what's 1 second, go back another second, 2, 3 seconds gives me this piece right here, 4 seconds gets me there. But what if I had skipped over that and then I went here, I'd miss this data and my small moving average would be incorrect, right? The problem is, how do I weight the trades? Because we're culling out the data. How do I properly weight it? because these points should be considered in the average.
Yeah, so we do a time range. Right? What? Sorry, I don't think I understand what you're talking about.
Weighting means giving value to, giving precedence
Yeah,
to.
so we give value to all of them.
Right, but see this point here?
Mm-hmm.
There might be 1,000 trades in here and we got rid of all of them because it didn't change the price.
Yeah, and if it didn't change the price, does that matter?
Well, it matters because this value would have a, so normally to do an average, this gets like 1 vote, right? But if there were 1,000 in here, then that should get 1,000 votes. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I have an idea. This is actually kind of a clever idea. Let's take a look at this. Let's go to the code that calls this data and removes it. That is, we need to go find remove at. I think remove, it's not here, it's over in chart translator.
Yeah.
It's in here. There it is. This is where we remove a point, right?
Yeah.
So, here's what I want to do. Stock data point, sorry, last point. Wait, hold on, stock data points. Yeah, this is just getting the last one. Okay, let's go to stock data point. I'm going to do this. This is my clever idea. I'm going to create a new auto-implemented property, I think of type integer. I'm going to call it weight. And I'm set it equal to 1 by default. Okay?
Yeah.
And we're going to use weight when we grab a point. So we're going to go back, we're going to find our time span, get all the points in that span, add them up, and multiply each one by its weight.
Uh-huh.
And then we're going to divide by the total weight, which is the same thing as if we had kept all the points. So we get the same number as if we had kept all the trades.
That's true.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to do. So I'm going to create something called weight. I default it to 1. So when we create a new instance, it's going to be 1 by default. If we don't touch it or change it, it'll always have a weight of 1. You with me?
Yes.
All right, let's go find our remove at right there. So at this point, we're removing it. And if we're removing it, what we want to do is we want to say data, stock data point. That's the one for the one that's coming in. That's the one we're about to add. See it right there? We're about to add it. See that? So we're going to do this. We're going to say stock data point dot weight plus equals last point, the one we're about to remove, dot weight. So if this last point was 1, its weight was 1, this weight will now become what?
Oh, it would become 2.
Good. And then the next time we add one that's the exact same value, so this one is now the last one, right? And so now its last weight is 2. What's the weight of the next one added going to be?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be 3.
3. So that's going to take care of the weighting, right? So we need the weighting since we are removing points, data points for efficiency. We have to weigh down the new point we're adding. So our SMA, our small moving average, still gets good values, still works. Okay?
Uh-huh.
Small moving average. That's what SMA is. Okay, so now we've got the weight. All right, next, small moving average. I think what I want to do, I really like this strategy that we've done where we have added, hold on, let me collapse a couple of things here so I can show you what I'm talking about. Where we've created a new canvas for each layer we want to draw on. Right, we've got the main layer where we do our graphing. We've got our adornments layer. We've got our hints layer. Guess what I'm going to do? We'll create a new canvas. I'm going to call this our analysis layer. Okay?
Yeah.
And guess what I'm going to put here?
The small moving average.
Yeah. All right, so next we need to kind of decide when we're going to graph it. I guess we can just graph it all the time.
I guess.
Well, we can start with that, and then we can add UI to say, okay, what's the range you want to look back at? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so small moving average. I'm going to say let's go with 5 seconds. Let's divide the chart into 5-second chunks by default and calculate the small moving average in that space. Are you cool with that?
Yes. And then maybe for the large moving average, we start with like maybe 30-second chunks.
Okay.
Or
sure. So we'll create a new method called calculate add moving average is what we're going to call this. Add moving average. We'll pass in a parameter that's going to be the time span, and maybe a second parameter that's going to be a brush. That's going to be the line color. How do you feel about that? Looks like I need to do that. Okay, so add moving average. We need to lock the stock the data points, and we need to iterate through them from beginning to end. Okay? We need to, as we are going through each one, we need to see, has it escaped the time slot? And if it is, then we're going to draw the line. We're going to add a line.
okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to start, I think we're going to need an X position or a start time, maybe. So we're going to say start time, like this. This is going to be a date time. That's going to be equal to, we're in the chart translator. We've got a property already called start. Maybe I'm just going to call this time. So time is, we're going to start it equal to start. And then we're going to say, I think I need something called end span, the end of the span. That's going to be equal to start plus a time span dot from seconds, passing in our time span parameter up at the top. This guy.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the end of the span. Right? And then we're going to, let's declare this as a constant or extract it as introduce a local for it at least. And we're going to call this, give it a time span 1. I'm going to rename this to span duration seconds. So we put the units up right on the name there. Then we'll call this just, I guess I could call it time span. Okay?
Yeah.
And now what we want to do is we need to collect the very first data point. So if I have data going from left to right, so starting, point over to your left side of the screen there. Point with your hand so I can see it on the camera. Right over there, left. That's starting at the very left. I'm starting to collect points. As I start to collect points, let's just actually say the edge of your chair is 0 in the as far as time goes, okay? So as you move towards me, get your finger lined up with the edge of the chair so I can see it. Yeah, there you go. Now as you move towards me, collect 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds worth of time. Move it towards me, 5 seconds. No, not the chair. The chair's got to stay in position so that we can see the distance move.
Okay.
Move 5 seconds. Stop. Your finger is 5 seconds across.
Yes.
But where do we, and we've collected 5 samples, we now know where to put that data. Where am I going to put that dot? Am I putting the dot where your finger is? Am I putting it at the beginning of the line? Am I putting it in the middle of that range? We have to make that decision now.
Oh.
And I'm going to take a drink while you think about that. There are no wrong answers.
I think in the middle of that.
That is actually, I think, a really good answer. I think it's a really interesting answer. So in the middle.
No wrong answers, only right ones.
Okay, also somewhere in here, we have the ability to get the X based on a time we pass in. Get stock position, get time from an X. Get stock position X. See that? Pass it a date time. See that?
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to use that, Camel, to figure out the X position based on the time we get it. All right. So we need to find the first X position. We need to collect data points within the span. Okay. And then we need to add them all up. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a list of these right here. These are the ones we're gonna points in span. That's what I'm gonna call it. Okay?
Yeah.
And then we're gonna do this. We're gonna say, hey, points in span dot what? Dot add. We're gonna add the stock data point to it. Okay? We're gonna do this too. We're gonna check to say, hey, wait, if stock data point dot time is greater than what?
0. Or, I guess when we start. Which would be...
Well, the start, here's the thing. We know that the very first data point in this list is going to be equal to start. It'll never be less than that.
Or equal to.
Yeah, it's not start. It's end span is what I'm getting at. And no worries, because I haven't really, given you focus on where we're going with this exactly. But if this is greater than the end span, then we are outside of the span we are interested in.
Yeah.
That means, what does it mean?
We need to get back. Or we need to do the new one.
We need to calculate the average for the points that we have collected inside of here. That's what we need to do. And what else do we need to do? We need to clear, after that we need to clear so we can collect more. Collect the next span. See what's going on?
Mm-hmm.
After we clear that, we need to recalculate end span. So we can collect the next span. We need to get the next, we need to remove the time forward again. I'm not sure we actually need this. Oh wait, we do. Yeah, end span is equal to start. It's that. End span is actually really equal to time. And time is really, we could make this a little easier to read, is equal to that. Right there. Okay? So time is equal to the data point, so time is greater than end span. Or not end span, this should be called end time. Oops, I thought I was renaming that. So we need to recalculate end time. Also, what else do we need to do, Campbell, if we found a point?
Wait.
What do we need to do so we can see that point?
Oh, we need to change its visibility. Or no, we need to.
This is a canvas, so we're going to add it to the canvas, is what we're going to do. So we need to add the point or the line to the canvas. Draw a line from last point to the new point.
Yeah.
That's what we need to do. So we do all of that in this space.
Yeah.
And Campbell says, let's set the X position to the center of the time span we are looking at. And Mark says, also known as Dad to you, Mark says, let's use that cool method I saw up here called get stock position X to convert from a time
To a position.
Okay?
Yeah.
So this is all pretty good. And I think we're close to, well, we got, what, 13 minutes actually? 15 minutes, 13 minutes, something like that. We can actually keep pushing forward on this. Any questions on this?
No.
Anything that you think we should talk about more that would be less confusing if we talked about it more?
No.
Same question goes for you, chat. If you guys got anything out there, let us know. Okay. So time is greater than end time, we're going to do all of that stuff. If it's not, we're just going to add it and keep going through the list. Add it to points and span. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Pudding says, yay, the list. So, a couple of these things. Calculate moving average. Haven't done that yet. Points and span. You want to do calculate moving average? Fine. We'll do it if you insist. So we're going to come in here. We need a average price.
And that's pretty easy to calculate.
We're going to get a total price. And we're going to get a total weight. And that's going to be in int. Total weight. So that's going to be equal to 0. Total price is equal to 0. Average price is going to be equal to total price divided by what?
Total price divided by however many there were. Not what the number of dots, which is...
It's not the number of dots. Remember, we changed something in it. We changed something in stock data point. It's not no longer equal to 1. It's equal to its weight. The total weight. So that's that variable right up there. Okay, so there's my average price. So right in here now we got to add them up. That's inside this list called points and span. I've copied it to the clipboard. I've dropped a marker for you. Hit escape to pick up the marker and then use the template to build a for each on that. Use the CodeRush template to do a for each. Good. Okay. Oh, the name of this isn't good. Is duplicating with this one, so I'm just going to rename it. So now we've got data point in there. What are we going to do inside here? What values need to change between here and here?
Total price and total weight.
Good. Calculate them. Figure it out. Write the code. And you can ask for hints. You can ask the chat room for help. Chat room, help!
I don't know.
Can I give you some clues? You want a clue?
Yeah.
Okay, here's one of your clues. See this guy? You're going to need something in data point. Saying, what are we helping with? We're trying to calculate, we're trying to get the sum for total price and total weight. We're going to need to use whatever's inside data point. These are the points that we've collected in the span. So for the moving average, say it's 5 seconds, those are the points we've collected inside of there. We may have 5, we may have 1, we may have 200. We need to add up all of those prices, add up all of those weights. What code goes here is the question. Oh, Campbell's starting. He's got data, working with data point.
Oh.
You want a moving average over a vector? Kind of, yeah. Okay, he's got weight. He may be figuring it out. Lego! We want convolution. Use control space if you want there.
Oh.
All right, there you go. You're good. Okay, total weight.
Is equal to. Oh. Okay.
Good. And semicolon. I think you just need a semicolon, don't you? At the end of the line. That's half of it.
Right, because it's the current data point. Yeah.
So total weight is equal to itself plus the total weight. Sweet.
Oops. No. I want total price. Okay.
You're not getting IntelliSense because you don't have an operator to the left. If you put an operator in there, it'll start giving you IntelliSense.
Just for now. That's not true, but...
Okay, this is good, Campbell. You're totally figuring this out. Good.
Is it just plus equals less?
Exactly. It's plus equals, and you need a semicolon at the end.
Yeah.
But look at that, Campbell. You totally figured it out. That was the puzzle, and you solved the puzzle. Perfect. Good. That code is, I think, going to work. That looks good. So now we've got our average price, right? That's going to get us our Y position. We have our time, which is going to be the middle time we need to get because that was important to get, right? So we're going to need to create a new date time here, call it middle time. And the middle is equal to the start plus half of the span. So the middle time is equal to Oh, you know what? I'm going to do a couple things here because I liked this and then I didn't like it. I'm now not liking this anymore. I want to rename this. I'm going to say this to span start time, like that. That's my span start time. This is no longer, I'm not going to change it there. This, I'm going to create a new variable here called time right there. Last one says, is Campbell a junior dev for Dev Express or still an intern? Campbell, what's your salary at Dev Express? You can, it's okay, you can share it.
Wait, sorry, let me just check my...
It's a big fat zero, I think. But we increased it to an even bigger font 0.
Yeah, it's about a $0 an hour.
$0 an hour? But we increased it to something like $0 like a second.
Oh yeah.
So you could get it that much faster. Okay, back in track here. Okay, so time. Maybe I don't need this. Maybe we'll just inline this down. So if this stock data point's time is greater than end time, then we're done. We need to calculate the moving average. The middle time is equal to span start time plus half of the time span. This guy right here. Mm-hmm. Well, we could just make it easy because we're going to need this again and again. We're going to call this half time span I'm going to just do this and do this divided by 2. Okay? So then down here we just need plus half time span. That's my middle time. The middle time is going to give me my x. Okay? So we're going to create a new variable type double called x. That's going to be, we're going to use that get stock position x, passing in my middle time. Okay? We're going to...
Maybe we should change the name of that, because we have a lot of variables called x in this code.
But this method is the only one.
Yes, but as well, I think it's better if we change this to something a bit more clear. Maybe like the average x position.
Love it. Average x. Like that? Cool. So my average x, I love it. It's a great suggestion, is that my average y is going to be probably get stock position y, and then we need to pass in what? Well, I've hinted at it right there. Yeah, it needs a decimal, a trade rate, a price. It's sweet, it's perfect. Look at that. That is the point that we need to add. Now, we need to pass in a canvas here. I'm going to add another parameter. I'm going to have this actually work on the canvas. We could change this around. There's, you could debate about where the best place is to put this. Because right now my chart translator didn't know anything about the UI, but now it's got using statements for controls and media. Because I'm passing in a brush and I'm passing in a canvas.
Yeah.
You could argue, you know what, Mark, that's probably not a good place to put that. But it's going to work if we do this for now, and we can refactor it later. Okay, so we've got our average x and average y. Now we need to draw a line from the last average x and y to this one.
Yeah.
So we need to store the last average x and y.
That's true.
We need to do it before we get in the loop. We're going to call this last average x and y. So last average x and last average y. We're going to set this equal to double dot min value, I think. Both of these. Okay?
Yeah. An incredibly small number.
Yeah, min value is an incredibly small number. Okay. Now it's time to draw a line. So we're going to say canvas dot children dot add some line, and we need to create a new line here. And I think I need to use something here too, using shapes. Pyrocat's here. Smash 8 Tap just showed up. Hey, Smash 8 Tap. It's important to dance while the chaos is going on, right? It's our end of the world dance. Look out, Camel! Just in time, Pyrocat. Just time for us to end the show in about a minute. Dude, Camel's dead. Oh, he's back. Did you take down that Velociraptor? Lego Pyrocat. All right, so we want to create a new line. We'll say new line, like that. And we're going to say line.x1 is equal to last average x. y1 is equal to last average y. Then we're going to do x2 is equal to, what'd you say?
Wrong screen.
Wait, say it a little louder.
We were on the wrong screen.
Oh, you fixed it? Good, thank you so much. Campbell's like, perfect co-host there. And that's equal to average y, like that. Okay, we set those points. We need to give it a color. So we're going to say line dot stroke is equal to line color, which is the brush we're passing in at the top. See that right there? Okay.
Yeah.
And then let's see, what do we need to do? Line thickness, stroke thickness, I mean. Stroke thickness, we're going to say it's equal to like 2.
Got it.
Okay, now one thing, what happens if this is min value? If last average x is equal to, in other words, this is the first point we're doing. If it's equal to min value, not max value, min, meaning we haven't set it yet. I'm going to set last average equal to 0. In fact, I could just initialize it to 0. That's cool. I really need to worry more about last average y.
Yeah.
If last average y is min value, then I'm going to set last average y equal to average y. So the first line will always come in horizontally on the left.
Yeah.
Hey, you're the one who said we had to put it in the middle. I'm just following it because what are we going to do? Or we don't start it there. We could also do this. We could say, if that's the case, we could also just say, you know what, it's a line that's 0 length long. We could also say average it, do the same like that.
Okay.
So it never starts on the left. Okay, so we just do this. All right, fine. So it's just a point. If we do that, then we're going to do this, and we could maybe even say, yeah, otherwise, maybe we don't add the line at all. And we just add the line down in here in this space. So if it's min value, can't draw a line, we only have 1 point.
Yeah.
Okay? How do you feel now?
Good. That's nice. That's decent.
Okay, so now we've drawn a line. We need to do the rest. We need to follow what the rest of our pseudocode is here. We need to clear the points and span list so we collect the next one. So now what we're going to do is we're going to say points and span dot clear. So we've done that. Okay? Clear the points and span list. We need to recalculate end time. Oh, good. And also start time. We need to recalculate end time and start time. So start this. These two lines of code here need to come into the loop as well. So right in here, we're not declaring, we're just going to go in there. So we're going to say now, the start time is now equal to my end time, whatever that was. So my span start time is now equal to my end time, right?
Yeah.
And my end time is now equal to span start time plus time span. You good with,
Oh, yeah, okay.
good with that? So we've now recalculated the end time. We need to add the line to the canvas. We did that. Campbell says let's use the X position to center. We did that.
Yes.
So center, we were doing that already. And Mark says let's use it. We did that. The only thing that won't happen is if we don't get a full collection of nodes at the very end. We won't see that. But I think this is going to work. I think there's a shot it's going to work. We need to make it public, add moving average. So now what I'm going to do over in my XAML is let's call it, let's see, we got show hint data. Who's calling this guy? Add adornments. Okay, so we add the dashed line, we add the adornments. I think, I'm not going to put it in add adornments, I think. I am going to do this though. I'm going to say, put it right here. Chart, translator, I think we're definitely going to have to refactor this, but we'll say add moving average. And we're going to say the span duration in seconds. So let's say it's 5 seconds. The canvas is going to be CVS analysis. And the brush color is going to be a new solid color brush. And let's make its color. You want to pick its color for me?
Yeah.
Select something maybe that's not, wait, hold on 1 second. I want to get a semicolon at the end of the line, or you can add that. Change the color net, get a semicolon, and then let's run it and see how it works. Maybe green, because we haven't used green yet. Maybe teal. Teal's kind of could look good too.
Maybe something like that?
Okay.
Or do we want it lighter?
Maybe not lighter, but you know what would probably be good? Is so we could see through it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like that. Let's try that.
Okay.
Give it a run and see if it works. Wouldn't it be awesome if it just worked?
Yeah.
I like things that just work. So we need some data points in here to be able to graph it. I'm looking for 5-second intervals. I'm not seeing anything yet. But we're also not clearing the children in that canvas. So once we start drawing out data points,
Yeah.
we're going to need to clear the children. Oh, there we go.
It's a thing.
That's super interesting. Why are we drawing vertical lines? All right, let's clear the children out and see what's happening. Because I think if we clear the children, we'll get a better sense of what's happening. Okay, so we're going to go into Canvas. Pyrocat, so how much crypto have you got? He's asking Pyrocat. A lot less than I had on May 11th is my answer to your question there. Clear right there. So right now Campbell has none, but we're basically setting this up. Campbell does have some money that he saved away. All right, so let's look at this now. What do we got?
Are they?
It's really weird. The lines going up. Let's see what it did. Did I just do this wrong? My average X, get stock position X, average Y is there.
No.
Oh wait, I think I know part of the problem. I'm not ever setting.
Oh. Yeah.
I'm not ever setting these once we've got them there. So here, let's set a breakpoint in here, get that code to recompile, and then let's run it. Let's see if it looks any better now.
Yeah, it's better. It's
Better,
not,
but
not what
is
we want.
that? I'm not
at
sure what that
all,
is right there.
But
Pyrocat says, I cashed it all out in February. Best decision I've made this year. Good job, Pyrocat. I bought it right around May 11th, I think. It went like, shoom, and I was like, really? And that's when I was like, you know what? I got to build an app to trade. I got to build a trading app. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to
looks smart so far.
It looks smart, but there's something wrong with it.
Oh, for sure.
Can we restart
But,
it? I just want to see if there's like, oh, you're the cause of the crash. No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. All right.
I feel like most of the time it is you.
Really? All right. So we are getting like a value that's off the charts sometimes. I suspect I know why. It's because there are no data points in that span. That's what I think is the issue. Hold on a second. What happens if we have no data points? We're outside the time, but we have no data points. We get to this point, right? We could even get a divide by zero problem here, right? So I think what we need is this. We need to say, hey, look, if points in span dot count is greater than 0, then we can kind of move forward on this. If points in span dot count is greater than 0, hold on. Yeah, if it is, yeah, I think it goes like right here. I think it, or it may just be even here. We have to have something in there. If we don't have anything in there, that may stop those vertical lines from dropping down. Let's see if that helps at all. As we get more data coming in.
It's smarter. Not smart still, but...
Yeah, it's jumping way down. I guess we're going to have to look at it next week. What do you think?
No, tomorrow.
Isn't today Saturday?
It is?
Yeah, we did a show
I thought
yesterday.
it was Friday.
Maybe Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can maybe do a Sunday show tomorrow, but I think we're doing something else.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I think we want to take a breath on this because that code was written really fast. We want to go back and take a look at it. Yeah, there's something definitely unusual about it. The last X and Y. Yeah, and then we're not getting any new data out here. It could be that it's just off charts as well, though, because we don't have anything that says, hey, if my moving average goes outside the bounds, then we need now to adjust the bounds of the of the graph. Huh, we just got a point added right in the middle. Another one right in the middle. It seems like we add the points in the middle is where we seem to be adding them.
What's gone on with it? I don't know, but yeah, just yesterday it was at 32,801 or 8 something.
Oh yeah, it's gone down about $400 since yesterday.
No, about 1,000.
It's about 1,000 since yesterday.
1,200.
Yeah. Yesterday I think it had a good day. It rallied a little bit.
Okay.
So
It's getting.
there's something there,
Yeah.
but
Something's certainly happening.
but it doesn't quite look right to me. All right, well, we'll figure it out. There's probably 1 or 2 bugs in there. Can we check on that code? I'm going to do a raid. We'll get a
1 or
raid
2.
going.
Okay, so what did we do? It was So
Look at the code differences. Click on each piece and you can see what we did.
right. Ooh, that's caps lock.
I'm going to send you guys over to not Pink Panther, to White Panther. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us today.
Thank you.
Join us on Tuesday for Code Rush. Do more stuff with Tailspire hacking.
Or Friday.
And
For
Campbell
next
and I will
show.
be back next Friday. See you later, Pirate Cat. Pirate Cat says later, M and C. And have fun over with White Panther.